Hey guys, so 9.1.5 has been live for almost a week now, and I wanted to make a quick video about some of the changes that have been made and my favourite updates in this patch. There isn't a great deal of new content as such, but personally I'm loving so many of these quality of life changes. In no particular order, first up we have the Covenant changes. The restrictions to swap covenants has been lifted. Players rejoice. So you can freely swap covenants without having to go through the quest chain and wait the cooldown. I think it was like 2 weeks it took to be able to actually swap fully. So you can just swap instantly. Once at least one character on your account has reached maximum renown, which is 80. When you do swap covenants, my understanding is that you will lose your renown, so it'll be reset to 0 and you can build it back up again. But if you decide to swap back to your previous covenant, it'll be back on 80. So that's pretty good. So you can change covenants, test it out, see if you like it. If not, swap back. And any anima that you left, any buildings that you had upgraded, etc., they'll all be still there waiting for you when you get back. And there is now an instant renown catch-up mechanism for alts. So you can also use this method if you swap covenants and you want to boost it up. So you can get it halfway to renown 40. You just need to buy an item called the Broker Mark of Distinction from this vendor here, right next to the flight path in Oribos. The item is bound on account, so you can just send it to any of your other characters once you have one character that is renown 80. You no longer have to complete the campaign for the Covenant to get your renown to maximum. So you could only earn your renown up to a certain level, and then you had to do the campaign to get to max. But now you can earn renown all the way up to 78 by doing your daily call-ins, sometimes from dungeons, etc. Just as it was before, but you can go all the way up to 78, and then you can get the final 2 renown levels by doing the weekly in Corthian. The Covenant cosmetics are now no longer limited to the Covenant that you are in. As long as you have your Covenant maxed out at renown 80, again, this seems to be the familiar rule. As long as you've got a character with 80 renown, you can use any cosmetics that you've bought, unlocked, transmog, etc. you can use on your other characters. So that's pretty good. If you fancy using your Kirian wings on your Necrolord character, you can do that. And the little Night Fae backpacks that are super cute, if you wanted to use that on Venthia, go for it. You can do whatever you want now. They've added a soulbind skip for your alts, so you don't have to go through the storyline to unlock all the soulbinds. So that is another time saver that I am really happy about. Once you've unlocked all 3 soulbinds in one covenant on a character, they'll be instantly unlocked on any other character who's in that same covenant. So for example, I have a hunter in the Night Fae, haven't unlocked the soulbinds because I didn't want to do the campaign, but now when I've logged onto it, there's a quest you can click on to unlock the soulbind. So it's a massive time saver. Another thing that people will be so happy about is the Conduit Energy has been removed. I know that was a big problem for a lot of people who would be doing various content and wanting to switch between soulbinds or conduits, etc. Each time you made a change, one of your orbs would be used and you only had a certain amount that you could use before you had none left and you had to wait 24 hours to get one back. So that was a big pain. So now that's completely removed. You can swap your conduits freely. Whatever you need, you can just go ahead and switch it out. That's really good. So the vendor that I mentioned earlier, where you can buy the renown catch-up item, also sells several other very useful items for your alts. So make sure you go and check that out. You can send anima to your alts now, which is possibly my number one thing that I'm happy about. You don't have to have a ton of anima sitting there with nothing to do with it. Another item this vendor sells are Heirloom Upgrades, so you can now upgrade your heirlooms from 50 to 60 max, so you can use heirlooms for any other alts that are leveling in Shadowlands. You can buy an item for PvP gear and also for Mythic 0 gear if you want to get your alt started with some gear. And the other handy one is the Time-Bound Ruminations, so you can buy this item to boost an adventure companion to level 30. The only restriction on this one is you must have one companion already at level 40. So you can send this to your alts if you want to boost up their companions and send them out on their adventures. Another fantastic change that I think everybody was wanting is the more intro skip.
Alone be praised!
It's great. I think I did that on 4 characters, maybe 5, and I just physically can't do it again. So I'm really glad they added that skip. You used to be able to enter the Shadowlands at level 48 though. You still can, but you can't do the intro skip for the more until you're level 50. That's the only restriction on that. So when you go to speak to the NPC to enter the Shadowlands, it does give you the dialogue option to skip. You'll go straight to Oribos and be able to choose your path, either the storyline or the threads of fate. You can now also level up in Torghast and PvP Battlegrounds. There is a daily quest in Oribos that you can pick up. I did try the Torghast leveling and I think I only earned about half a level, if that, maybe a third of a level by doing 1 Torghast clear. I don't think I could level 10 whole levels in Torghast though. I'd probably get ridiculously bored. But it is nice to have another option, so you can maybe do a couple of dungeons, Torghast run, a battleground, maybe some quests, back to your dungeon, Torghast. Just mix it up a bit. I think it's really nice to have the option of different ways to level in, not just by spamming dungeons or just by doing quests. It's good to have options. The cap for Valor and Conquest currencies have been removed. So previously it was set to a maximum of 750 per week, I believe. So you couldn't earn any more than that every week on any one character once you'd hit the season maximum. So they've just completely removed the cap. So if you've got a new alt, or if you already have your character fully geared and you want to maybe change spec, try something else, you can go out and farm Valor in Mythic Plus, upgrade a different set of gear. Easy. Such a good change, I think. The Aoe cap has been removed, so damaging abilities that used to be capped to deal reduced damage beyond either 5 or 8 targets, a lot of them have now lost their cap. I think the interpretation that Blizzard have given is that they put the cap in place to stop people from just running into a dungeon or an area or whatever and just pulling every single mob and then just AoE damaging them to death. They didn't want that to happen anymore, so they put the cap on. So now the cap has been removed on a lot of abilities in different classes. If you want to see the full list, I'll put the link to the patch notes in the description below, because there are quite a lot of changes and also some other changes that I'm probably not going to even mention in this video. There is a lot of changes. They've updated the group finder, so you would now need to have a Battle.net authenticator if you want to have custom text when you're listing a group for dungeons, raids, etc. If you don't have your authenticator attached, you can still list a group. It will just default to either the Mythic Plus key that you've got, or you can change it to whatever you want. You just can't write like a description. When you're creating a group, you can now set a minimum Mythic or PvP rating requirement for applicants to the group. There's also a drop-down box if you want to select from either a standard run, timed run, or if you're just doing it and you're not bothered about the time. They've added some additional fast travel options from Venari's Refuge to the Desmoteron area and Perdition Hold, so you can get around the moor a lot faster, so that's good. For anyone who used to get annoyed by their bags filling up in Corthia with anima and relics, etc., you can now deposit your anima in Corthia. You don't have to go all the way back to your Covenant place to empty your bags. You can do it in Corthia. I think that's brilliant. A couple of other changes in Corthia as well. You can now buy Corthian Ornaments that create a specific piece of gear. Before it was just an ornament that you would use and you'd get a random piece of gear. But now you can buy specific ones, so head, chest, etc. You can choose what you need if you're trying to gear up some alts. They've made some changes to the Archivix Codex reputation in Corthia as well. There's a couple of items that you can buy once you've reached tier 6 to send to your alts to boost reputation that you earn from handing in the relic fragments by 50%. So that's a massive boost. If you're trying to get your reputation up on any other characters, definitely buy that straight away. You might have already noticed that the unopened mail icon is back on the character selection screen. That did make an appearance in, I think it was 9.1, very briefly, but then they took it down. There must have been a problem with it or something. But it's back finally, so you can now see which of your characters have got mail that you need to collect before it gets returned. Something else that they've changed is that you can now fly in the Shadowlands zones when you're dead. Brilliant. I actually love that, because when you die and you have to walk back to your body and it's in a bit of an awkward place, it can be quite frustrating. So now you can just fly. Brilliant. They've added in some new character customization options for the allied races, High Mountain Tauren, Lightforged Draenei, Nightborn and Void Elves, and they've changed the Lightforged Draenei Divine Steed. I used it the other day and I was very confused. I was like, where's my elephant thing gone? It's now a goat with armor. Very confused. I didn't realise that was something they were changing. As a druid main, I'm very excited about the new flight forms and travel forms that they have added in 9.1.5. I'll probably make a separate video about this, but you can get 7 out of 8 of them through glyphs that are made by the inscription profession. So you should be able to buy them on the auction house. I don't have an inscription character, so I'm going to have to end up buying them all. Hopefully they don't cost too much, but I need them all. And again, my druid is Night Fae, so we've got all these new soul shapes added in, which is awesome. I love the soul shapes. And the critter shapes as well, which are just like soul shapes but smaller. So cute. There's so many cute ones to collect. So look out for some videos that I'll be uploading about those. They've added new Covenant toys, 1 for each Covenant. They have a chance to drop from the reward for your daily call-ins. So a good reason to get back to doing call-ins if you, like me, have not really been doing them for a few months. So hopefully you'll get lucky and collect all those toys. Something that hunters will be very happy about, especially me. You can now tame the grommets in Corthia. They're super cute. Couldn't tame them before. No reason why we couldn't tame them. Just couldn't. But Blizzard have now said, yes, you may tame them. Absolutely, go ahead. And the corpse flies and aquilons as well, they're now tameable. So if you've got a hunter and you want a cute little grommet, maybe use it to match your mount from Corthia. I know the colour scheme is very similar. There's quite a few coloured grommets to get, maybe 3 or 4 different colours. Get out there and tame them all. I know I will be doing. A couple of changes that they've made for the Battle for Azeroth expansion. In regards to island expeditions, you can now queue for them solo. So you can just go in and solo an island expedition if you fancy it. I still have so many mounts and pets and toys that I've never collected from island expeditions that I'll probably go back at some point and do. I did jump into a solo island expedition just to try it out, and probably took me about 3 or 4 times longer to do it on my own than it would take to do it with a group of people. So I'm not quite sure if I'll be using this solo queue thing myself, but I'm sure there's other people that would love to just get in there, solo it, spam it, get all the items and stuff, but possibly not going to be doing that myself anyway. But it's a good change, good to have the option. And they've also made changes to the war fronts from BFA, so you can queue in smaller groups if you're wanting to go ahead. There's still some transmog I need from there as well, so I should probably get on that one day. Something to look forward to in December is the Legion time walking that's been added to the game. The time walking is on a monthly rotation, I believe. So every month will be a different expansion and it lasts for 1 week. You can go and do the old dungeons from that expansion and bring back all your memories from there. Legion will now be part of that rotation, so it's probably only going to be up every 5 months, I would say, like twice a year. So it's for 2 weeks the first time it's up, so we can enjoy it for longer. But after that, it'll only be up for the usual week that you get your time walking for. During the Legion time walking, the Mage Tower will be available. I'm sure everyone has mixed feelings about the Mage Tower. I know that when I went to test it on the PTR, I had a lot of, we'll say, traumatic memories. I probably spent hours and hours and hours on that Mage Tower back in Legion, trying to complete as many characters as I possibly could. The amount of attempts that I'd had on some characters, I think the Demon Hunter took me about 100 attempts or something ridiculous. I've got it all written down somewhere just so I can remind myself of the pain I went through. But it was definitely worth it. Anyway, when I tried on the PTR, I failed miserably. I tried my Resta Druid first because I thought, yeah, my Resta Druid, max level gear, it's my main character. I'm a professional Druid, I'm a professional. This'll be easy. It was not. I could not get past the first part even. I think you need to get a different type of gear to be able to succeed. I'm pretty sure there's some videos out there that people have done about how to gear up, how to get ready for Mage Tower. I think Hazelnutty Games has got one. I'll find that. I'll put the link in the description. I'll need to get on that myself because I need to earn that werebear appearance for my druid. And they've added in other appearances as well for each spec. So you're not going to be able to earn the appearances that were available back then. These are all new. As well as the Legion Time Walking and the Mage Tower, there's going to be Time Worn Keystones. So if you're into your Mythic Plus like me and you want to try out some Legion Mythic Plus, you'll be able to do that. I know that I'm looking forward to the Eye of Ashara. Everyone loves the trash mobs, the seagulls, the crabs. Oh my goodness. It was always fun. Very fun. I can't wait to do that actually. It should be cool. I'm sure there's some good gear as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. Another thing about Time Walking dungeons is that they have changed around the available dungeons in a lot of the expansions. So I know I personally did not enjoy the Black Morass, for example, from the Burning Crusade. That's been removed. That was always so boring, and maybe if you got it like twice in a row, you'd be like, oh my god, now this one again is so boring. So yeah, a lot of the other ones have been taken out and they've put in other ones instead. Nice to have a bit of a change. Cosmetic items now have to be used for the appearance to be added to your collection, and the item itself will disappear when it's used. So it's not just a case of it's automatically learned and then you can sell it to a vendor. You have to click the item to use. They've added some new toys to some of the world events. For the Midsummer Festival, it looks like they've got 3 new toys. So another reason to grind some Burning Blossoms when that's back up next summer. 2 have been added to Noble Garden, the Easter event, and 1 for the Winter Vale. So that should be available some point in December. So I can't wait to get all those new toys. I love toys. More toys have been added for unlocking flight paths in different expansions. So you could buy the Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor toys to unlock the flight paths for those zones. Now you can buy them for all expansions. So if you're getting some alts, just use the toys to unlock all the flight paths. That's going to be really handy. Blizzard have updated the weather effects in Stormwind and Orgrimmar. That's pretty cool. So before there was just no real weather, it was just the same, probably just always a nice sunny day in Stormwind. But now you can get rain and stuff. So another change which is just like, yeah, that's a nice change. For Mythic Plus, some of the affixes have been changed. So the bolstering has been reduced from a permanent debuff on the ads to a 20-second duration, so that's nice. Necrotic Wound as well, that's been cut from 9 seconds down to 6, and Raging, the damage is now 50% rather than 75%, so that is actually very good. Don't need to worry too much when those affixes are up for the week. If you have upgraded your Anima Conductor fully, you get access to a buff for your character. They used to only last for a day and you'd have to go back to pick up the buff again. Now it will be permanent, so you can just go there once, select the buff that you want in, and you don't have to go back again unless you want to change it, because there's always a few different options for the buffs. Go and check that out if you haven't already. I know I've got mine unlocked on my Druid and my Paladin, Night Fae and Kirian, but I never bother to go and pick it up because I know it's just going to drop off. But now I'm going to make an effort, go and collect the buff, and it'll be there forever. Only works in non-instance zones in Shadowlands. If you go in a dungeon, it's not going to be working. Another couple of updates they've done. One with the Redeemed Souls quest that you can do weekly to earn the souls to be able to upgrade your Covenant Sanctum. You used to only be able to do that once a week, so it was sort of gated if you were trying to upgrade. You can now repeat the quest as many times as you need. So if you've got a brand new alt, you're wanting to upgrade all their Covenant buildings, you can just go and keep farming your lost souls in the Maw, which can also now be farmed in Torghast whilst you're there. Something else that's new. So you can keep repeating that quest until you've got as many souls as you need. Some Torghast changes. You can now farm Soul Cinders. So if you're looking to try out a different legendary on one of your characters, that's not going to be time gated anymore by your weekly runs. You can just keep going back in as many times as you need to get those Soul Cinders. They've increased the amount of soul ash that drops as well, just in case you need any of that. And they have moved the box of many things. So it used to be in the other room within Torghast where the rune carver was, where you made your legendaries, but it's now in the main part of Torghast as you go in and down the steps. So that's quite handy. They've also made some changes to the Kirian Path of Ascension, which I still need to do on my paladin. I still haven't got around to that. There's so many mounts and stuff to unlock. I need to do it. And the purple wings as well, the dark wings. I need that. So I'm probably going to get it done soon now that they've nerfed it, so to speak. You no longer have to use the medallions of service to enter the Path of Ascension. You now only use them for the crafting. A 20% buff has been added. You can actually turn that off if you want to make it more challenging for yourself. I'll probably be leaving it on. They've increased the drop rates for the crafting materials by 10%. All good changes. Another thing which I haven't done yet is recycle my old legendaries. So you can now go to the rune carver. He will offer to destroy your legendary item and you'll get a refund of any soul ash and soul cinders that you've spent to craft the item. You will not, however, get a refund of the gold you paid for the base item. I think I was paying about 50, 60k gold. You don't get that back, sadly. But you can still get your other currencies back. It's better than nothing, isn't it? Better than taking up a space in your bag. They've also increased the drop rates of your legendary recipes from dungeons. The drop rate is 100%, so if you're trying to get one, you're guaranteed to get it on the first attempt. And that is all I will mention. Hopefully that's not too many things. I know the list is pretty endless. There's so many class changes, other little bits and bats that I haven't mentioned because there's just not enough time to go through everything. The link will be in the description below for the full patch notes if you want to check that out for yourself. Let me know what your favourite change is. What's the best thing that's updated? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching this video. I hope it was helpful in some way. If you have any questions or feedback, please leave a comment and be sure to subscribe for more videos. All my links are in the description below. Bye!